and so he's just quite something. If you look at the animated image of the man himself, right there by the touchline, as Roberto De Zerbi, you would understand what sports actually does to many individuals right there. But then kudos to Kinski for making some superb saves right there in the game. And of course, yes, Antonin Kinski, came through, and of course, it was a fine redemption arc for the lad right there to ensure that they were able to actually do things right, and of course, at least save that 1 point out there. Well, of course, we're looking at several things happening. Talking about celebrations right there for the La Liga that Barcelona did win on Sunday. And yes, yesterday they had a parade through the town, and there are different talking points right there. Some people said, why can't Barcelona just keep Madrid out of their talks? Because of that picture that they saw, the image of Lamine Yamal with a clothes that still had a mention of Real Madrid. And you're asking, come on, you guys are celebrating. You got the victory over them. Why do you guys always talk about Real Madrid that way? Well, it is what it is. Also, there are questions, out there looking at the boy Lamine Yamal as well, saying talk is cheap, but that's not the biggest point. It was the Palestine flag that he actually had. He was waving that flag, and there was a lot of questions right there talking about that celebration and the semblance of it, what it means out there, and what it could mean. Well, maybe if the governing bodies of football say something otherwise, but it was just a boy celebrating and trying to put a message out. At this point, they will say be careful of the message you put outside there, and of course, you never know when things will turn on its head. Well, back to England, where Liverpool have released images of a planned memorial to late forward Diego Jota and his brother Andre Silva following their deaths last summer. Well, the 28-year-old Jota and the 25-year-old Andre Silva at the time played for Portuguese second division Penafiel, died in a car crash on the 3rd of July in the Spanish province of Zamora, if you remember. And of course, the sculpture features a flowing art design. I'm sure some of you have seen it out there on social media, in nod to the Portugal International's goal celebration. The two brothers shared numbers as 20 and 30, plus the lyrics to Jota's song, which is sung by Liverpool fans in the 20th minute at every game. Titled Forever 20, the club says it celebrates Jota and receivers' lives, their bond, and the love and respect felt by family, teammates, and supporters across the world. What we know is that the memorial, which will be located at Anfield on the 97th Avenue, has recycled the physical attributes left outside Anfield since Jota's death by fans paying their respects and incorporated them into a stone plinth. Liverpool have not yet announced when it will be unveiled, but they will reveal the dates in the future. Remember that the late Jota joined the Reds from Wolves in 2020 and scored 65 goals in 182 appearances for the club, winning the Premier League, FA Cup, and 2 League Cups during his time on Messi's side. That's how it is right there, and of course, he's quite a lot. Also, let's talk about Barcelona again, because Marcus Rashford is saying well, if he was a magician, he would have just said, come on guys, I'm staying right here. But he's not a magician, of course, and of course he knows that he has to wait on what will happen in the transfer window right there. But it feels like Barcelona is second home for him. The United Academy graduate has actually shot brilliantly for the Catalans, and of course a lot of people have said these guys should just keep him right there on a permanent basis. Well, there might just be some activity right there in the transfer window for Barcelona. We'll wait to see how it all turns out. Okay, Chelsea according to what we are saying, I've started contacting prospective head coaches, and we know in that list we have head names like Luis Felipe, who played for them, right there, leading Fluminense actually to different titles also, and yes, it did something immaculate at the Club World Cup as well. But of course, the most recurring name as we speak is that of Xabi Alonso. Also in the mix is Anthony Raola and Oliver Glasner. Those names are also in there. And so yes, when it broke out yesterday that Chelsea started to make contact with prospective managerial candidates as they moved towards appointing the club's next permanent head coach, many fans had their tongues wagging, asking questions. Okay, how do you change this and that? I do not just carry any coach out here. Well, of course, we already know the names out there, and so we're waiting to see what happens. They're not ruling out Como boss Cesc Fabregas. They say that they have admirers at the Chelsea hierarchy, and everybody's looking at the possibility of them having a new coach appointed well before the start of preseason training in early July. Let's let you know that Anthony Raola, Xabi Alonso, Silva, and Glasner are all out of work or scheduled to be without a club by the end of the season, which means that Chelsea will not be required to pay compensation. Actually, when I say Silva, I mean Marco Silva of Fulham, whose contract expires this summer, but he has been offered a 3-year deal to stay, and of course he has options abroad as well. Clubs in Saudi Arabia are also understood to be keen on his decision right there. They want to know what happens right there with that guy. Alright, let's go for this commercial break, and when we return, we got stories for you. Bosnia and Herzegovina gave us a movie yesterday, and of course we'll talk about it right about now.
Nítorí Olúwa ṣeun ńlá fún wa, àwa ń yọ̀. Ìjọ onítẹ̀bọmi Victory Independent Baptist Church Ìlúpéjú Bódìjà Ìbàdàn pé ọgbọ̀n ọdún tí wọ́n dá sílẹ̀, hallelujah. Àkòrí àjọ̀dún tọdún yìí ni iṣẹ́ ńlá. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti ṣe àjọyọ̀ ọgbọ̀n ọdún t'Olúwa ti ń jẹ́ olóòtítọ́ sí wa. Ọgbọ̀n ọdún wíwàásù ìyìnrere, ọgbọ̀n ọdún jíjẹ́ orísun ìbùkún. Ọjọ́ Sunday ọjọ́ 17 oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 2026 ní ìsìn àjọ̀dún wáyé láago 10 òwúrọ̀. Àwọn oníwàásù ọjọ́ náà ni olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ missionary Robert Smith àti ìyàwó wọn Rhoda Smith. Olùgbàlejò ajínrere Babátúndé Àjàyí. Ẹ wá, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí Olúwa. Jésù lolúwa.
Nàìjíríà, ilẹ̀ tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ tó sì ń gbé ní ìrẹ́pọ̀, ṣùgbọ́n báwo la ṣe lè fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ àti pé báwo la ṣe lè ní àǹfààní sáwọn tó ṣe pàtàkì. Ẹ wá gbọ́, àgbékalẹ̀ ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan POA lábẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àdúgbò tó ń gbé wà fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ètò ààbò tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fojú inú wò ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ tó dájú tó sì jẹ́ látọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó wà, ìrọ̀rùn gbáà ni.
Pẹ̀lú ìwé ẹ̀rí mi tuntun, ó rọrùn fún mi láti yáwó ní báńkì mi. Wọ́n rí àrídájú ibi tí mò ń gbé, inú mi sì dùn gan-an.
Mo lo tèmi fún okòwò mi, ó yára, ó sì dájú. Kódà àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti tọ́ mi sọ́nà. Ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ jẹ́ ètò tó dájú tí ó sì lè ṣe àwọn àǹfààní sílẹ̀ fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Ìwé ẹ̀rí yìí yóò dáàbò bo ọjọ́ ọ̀la rẹ, yóò fòpin sí ìwà ọ̀daràn tí ètò ààbò tó péye yóò sì wà pẹ̀lú fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Fi ìwé ẹ̀rí àdírẹ́sì ibùgbé rẹ hàn lónìí, jẹ́ ká jọ gbé orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gòkè àgbà. Kàn sí àwọn ilé ìfìwéránṣẹ́ àti ibùgbé ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tá a ti yà sọ́tọ̀.
Ìkéde ìwà láti ọ́fíìsì akọ̀wé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí, NIPOST àti ALGON.
Get ready for a life-changing time out on the program. The happiest people. Brought to you by the Full Gospel Business Men's Fellowship International. Men of Honor.
On this station, Oluyole 98.5 FM, every Tuesday, 7:45 p.m.
On the program, you'll get to listen to the stories of men and women saved by God to live better, more fulfilling and happier lives.
Thank you very much for staying tuned right there. And of course, let me just give you this one straight on. According to reports that we have right here, Neymar Jr. and Thiago Silva are both in Carlo Ancelotti's pre-World Cup list of 55 names. And it looks like he will announce his final World Cup squad in about 6 days from now. That's what we are seeing right there. And a lot of people looking at the pre-list, and I think I might just want to go through those names. Forward department: Vinicius Junior, Neymar, Endrick, Rafinha, Matheus Cunha, Luis Enrique, Gabriel Martinelli, João Pedro, Estevão, Ryan of Bournemouth, Anthony, Igor Thiago, Pedro, Richarlison, Igor Jesus, and Caio Jorge. Of course, for the midfielders: Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, Fabio, Andre Santos, Danilo, Lucas Paqueta, Gabriel Sara, João Gores, Andres Pereira. We have Joelinton, Guessing, Matheus Pereira. And in defense: Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Gabriel Magalhães, Bremer, Leo Pereira, Ibanez, Alexandro, Fabricio, Bruno, Berardo, Victor Reis, Murido. We have Wesley, Danilo, Paulo, Enrique, Vitinho, Alexandro, Douglas Santos, Luciano Juba. We have Caio Enrique, Keiki, Carlos Augusto. And the goalkeeping department, from what we've seen right here, includes the likes of Alisson, Ederson, Bento, Hugo Souza, Jean, Carlos Miguel, right there. And it's incredible looking at all of those names listed out there. And of course, it looks like there's going to be plenty to look forward to ahead of the World Cup. Like I said, we have Bosnia and Herzegovina giving us something. But before we talk about that something, okay, part of that something actually includes Edin Dzeko being a part of the list of World Cup 40-year-olds out there. Yesterday, it was like a movie trailer that Bosnia and Herzegovina actually did release their World Cup squad list. And of course, former Manchester City striker Edin Dzeko is right there, and now he's set to join an exclusive list of players aged 40 or over to play at a World Cup. Well, of course, the only outfield player to have played at a World Cup after his 40th birthday, having appeared and scored at the 1994 tournament, is Roger Milla. Well, there have been 6 goalkeepers. Egypt's Sam El Adari was 45 at the 2018 World Cup. We had Colombia's Farid Mondragon, Northern Ireland's Pat Jennings, England's Peter Shilton, Italy's Dino Zov, Tunisia's Ali Boumnegel, and of course, we are looking at quite beautiful things right there. Well, 40-year-old Luka Modric and Cristiano Ronaldo at 41 are also expected to feature for Croatia and Portugal respectively this summer as well. So it's going to be interesting when you look at all these listings and you say, hey, come on, it's beautiful. We know that Dzeko was 148 caps for his country, played in 7 of his country's 8 matches in Group H of qualifying, and also in the semi-final and final of the progression through the playoffs. He scored his 73rd international goal in the semi-final against Wales. Bosnia are the first team to name their 26-man squad for the 2026 World Cup, which will be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. They are playing at a World Cup for only the second time, and they are in Group B with Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland. It's gonna be interesting times, actually looking at them, because 26-man list already out by this time. It says quite a lot. But then, if you look at the Bosnia squad, we have the likes of Sead Kolasinac, formerly of Arsenal, now with Atalanta. Well, of course, some other interesting names right there, and of course, I know many people will be looking at what happens right there with the inclusion of Edin Dzeko, who helped Schalke 04 get promotion back into the top flight of the German football league right there. So yes, interesting times ahead for them, and plenty to unpack right there. So there's a lot of people who are still looking at the transfer window already. Some names are being touted to make some moves around, and we'll serve you all of those names when the time comes, when we have more comprehensive updates right there to serve you when it comes to players making the movement. Already clubs are delving into different channels to see what could happen, and that includes the likes of Juventus. The old lady in Turin are trying to make some moves out there, and we know that some people have rumored that their plans as look towards the Premier League. So with that happen, is a question. We'll be looking to see how it all turns out for Juventus, but we know that they are trying to hold very desperately onto the services of Dusan Vlahovic. We'll see what happens right there. If you look at what we've seen in time past, especially regarding this player out there as one of those who would actually make the move across. Well, Miles Lewis Kelly says the job is not done as Arsenal continue to push to win the Premier League title. And of course, yes, you would say indeed that is the truth. It is not done yet. There are still minutes to be played, and of course they have to do a very big job to ensure that they complete the assignment right there. Let's give it a one. Former Ghana coach, I'm talking about Otto Addo, has been named as one of a star-studded panel of football legends tasked with analyzing every match at the tournament. That's the World Cup in North America. He was handed a prestigious role at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's not in the dugout, but in one of football's most influential analytical roles. And they have confirmed that he is going to be a member of the technical study group. Yes, he's joining a distinguished panel of football legends whose task is to analyze the tournament right there. He's joined by the likes of Jürgen Klinsmann. Yes, if you are young like me, you remember the likes of Paulo Wanjob. Of course, Pablo Zabaleta is also in there. Gilberto Silva as well. And Michael O'Neill is also there as well. So it's just crazy when you look at some of these things and how interesting it gets to be. We're talking about announcement. UEFA have given us a special one, and this concerns Arsenal fans as well as Paris Saint-Germain. Well, Germany's Daniel Siebert, who officiated the second leg of Arsenal's Champions League semi-final against Atletico de Madrid, will be the referee when Arsenal play holders Paris Saint-Germain in the final on the 30th of May, and that's according to a revelation by UEFA. Well, France, Le Texier from France, who refereed the Euro 2024 final without the whistle during the Europa League final between Freiburg and Aston Villa on May the 20th, while the Conference League final between Crystal Palace and Rayo Vallecano will be refereed by Italian Maurizio Mariani a week later. And UEFA named two compatriots as assistants for each of these referees right there. For the UEFA Women's Champions League final between Barcelona and Olympique Lyonnais on May 23rd, it is Sweden's Tess Olofsson who will be the referee in charge of that particular game. And so, speaking about Paris Saint-Germain's involvement, Ousmane Dembele has been named the Ligue 1 Player of the Year again, and that's despite starting just 9 matches. So you reckon with that quote that you have always drummed in our ears from when we were small, it's not about how far, it's about how well. It's not about how long you lived, it's about how well you lived. And yes, he won it for the second year running after leading the club to the brink of a 14th French title and the Champions League final. He has become just the 5th player to win back-to-back awards. The last being Zlatan Ibrahimovic in 2014. Well, of course, a lot of people have been asking questions. 9 matches to start to, and of course, it's just quite something. He notched up 960 minutes of game time, and of course, that's ridiculously low compared to 20 starts last season and 1,736 minutes last season. And despite the reduced time on the pitch, Dembele actually scored 10 goals and 6 assists, and is still down on the 21 and 8 he achieved last season. Well, of course, a lot of people are looking at how this has turned out to be the whole awards. But let's mention to you that yesterday at the UNFP Awards, we saw Desiree Day, who was actually also named Young Player of the Year. Michael Olise named, the French Player of the Year right there. And of course, incredible tales of following for these guys. All right, so let's talk about Hull City. And Hull City have been able to do something magical, beating Millwall in the playoff semi-finals to move one step closer to the Premier League promotion. There was a goal and an assist from Mohamed Beloumi, and it's actually ensuring that something incredible is coming to them right there as they got the victory over Millwall at the Den. 2-0 it ended, and of course it's maintained the Lions' historic 100% losing rate in the Championship playoff home legs right there, and it's just crazy. Despite being the unbeaten in 6 form team with 4 home wins in 6, Millwall had to absorb some whole pressure in the eliminator, and of course it did pay off as the Tigers have now said that they want to actually emulate their playoff successes of 2008 and 2016, and we'll be looking to see how they do it right there. So sorry to the likes of Femi Aziz, it didn't come through. Maybe next time they try again. Alright, as we wrap up this morning, let's quickly give it to you straight on in the world of basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunders actually swept the Los Angeles Lakers out of the NBA playoffs, winning 115-110 to wrap up a 4-0 series victory in what could turn out to be the final game of LeBron James' career. And of course, we saw SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 35 points as the defending champions advanced to the Western Conference Finals after sealing their second sweep of the postseason following a 4-0 first-round defeat of Phoenix. And that is how we wrap up this morning. Well, of course, we wish you a very blissful Tuesday. Do enjoy.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
Don't park your car just anywhere.
Look around. Is no sign there?
If there's one that says no parking,
move further down before you stop.
It's no joke, and we're not laughing.
Watch out!
Watch out!
Look right, look left.
Look left, look right, look left again.
When you are sure no car is in sight,
quickly cross to the other side.
Now when you are here again, don't drop your refuse into streams. Don't use your nuisance to create another nuisance.
Ibi gíga Olúyọlé là ń gbọ́ tó bá jẹ́ tètò tó nítumọ̀. Olúyọlé là ń gbọ́ tó bá jẹ́ tètò tó pín mìíràn.
Ojúmọ́ bá ti mọ́ ọ̀yẹ́ máa ń la oòrùn, ọ̀yẹ́ tó la lónìí o, ọ̀yẹ́ ire ni. Ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́ lọ́dẹ̀dẹ̀ yìí o, ojúmọ́ aláyọ̀ èmi o. Ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ màlá tó ti gbé dé. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ìròyìn kárí ayé màlélẹ́yìn o. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Etí inú lè jòun lò fọ́nrán ìní tó lóko yín. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹ̀tẹ́ ti balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọgbọ́. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọlé FM. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ajílẹ̀tẹ̀ FM tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó kún kẹ́kẹ́. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹ máa gbọ́ nínú ilé nínú mọ́tò tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ ìléwọ́. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Agbẹ́prẹ́s ó tún ti yá ká tún jọgbọ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́. Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn rẹ̀ o.
Ọdún Iléyá ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ wa.
Àwọn tó yẹ ká
ọdún léyà ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ wa.
wọ́n kúrò nílùú Ìbàdàn lónìí wọ́n lọ sí.
má fagídí raṣọ o pẹ̀lú náàmà.
gbogbo ẹni tó lé
má fagídí raṣọ o pẹ̀lú náàmà.
ó lè ní mọ́ọ̀lù ó lè ní
léyà ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ wa.
ẹni tí ò lè rówó ra tí ò lè rówó pa díẹ̀ tí ó sọ
bá ṣe tí o lè fi sọdún.
tó bá ṣe kí ni.
mo bá ṣe òkú èkó o lè fi sọdún.
ó lè pè kú èkó náà.
ẹjọ́ bá jẹ́ pọn màmá ni o lè fi sọdún.
pọ̀mọ́ ò lẹ́jẹ̀ kí ni lẹ́jẹ̀ lẹ́jẹ̀ lẹ́jẹ̀.
mo bá ṣe ṣùkú o lè fi sọdún. mo bá jẹ́ màní o lè fi sọdún.
sinkini
máa torí ipò fẹ́rẹ̀ ràn
ọmọ sìnkí tó máa ń tà ní
ìtura bá gbọ́múlé kiri kan.
ṣé pé kò gbọ́dọ̀ tó wó
ìyá ń bọ̀ yìí ọ̀rẹ́ wa já báwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀.
iná mò ń sọ mo ní bí ọ̀rọ̀ bá kàn rọ ẹni tó rò mọ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe ń báwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ tèmi náà ṣe ọ ní gbẹ́rẹ́ pàkọ́.
pé kí ló
gbogbo ẹni tó lé pẹ́pẹ́sẹ́ o ní 2026 o ẹjọ́ sọ̀kò òní ní àràfá ni o ẹjọ́ gògùn àràfá ni o ẹjọ́ sọ̀kò ní ẹjọ́ dé Mùsàlífà ni o nǹkan mo èmi wá sọ fún ọ pé ó dín díẹ̀ ní mílíọ̀nù méjì yìí àwọn tí Ọlọ́run pè gangan tọ́lọ́run pè gangan tí wọ́n jẹ́ pé Ibrahim tí èṣe ìpè ẹ̀ṣọ̀tà